Welcome to Community Talk, a public affairs presentation of the MSA United Way and Super Talk 1270. Now your host, Jenna Gullo.
Good morning, Bismarck, Mandan, and Western New York. Hello, Mom. Hoping everyone is having a fantastic morning. We sure are. We have a great program today, so we hope you will stay with us the full hour. We have El Presidente of the United Way Board, Mr. Ted Cash. He also has a second full-time job at Basin Electric Power Cooperative. He'll be joining us to talk about all of his delightful experiences in serving our community through United Way. And then later in the program, we're going to hear from Mark Wagner. He is on our Community Impact Committee, a longtime volunteer and donor, a board member, and person extraordinaire. And co-hosting with me today, Ms. Amber Jensen from the United Way.
Good morning, everyone.
So, Amber, before we start, you have some fantastic results from the baby shower that we had last week through the Women's Leadership Circle.
Yeah, last Tuesday, we packed 57 backpacks or baby gifts for women in need in our community. And so throughout the last couple of months, we were collecting baby items to give these items to at-risk mothers. And so first time doing the event, not really quite sure how many donations we were going to get in from all of the businesses. We had about 10 sites that were drop-off locations, ended up getting an overwhelming amount of donations and then sponsorships. So we got to go to Target and Walmart and use those sponsorship dollars to buy additional items for these mothers in need. And so 57 baskets, our goal was 50. And so everybody with the Women's Leadership Circle is just really excited. And then afterwards, we got to go deliver them to the agencies.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, and afterwards we celebrated with our success. I'm glad that you delivered them. You know, what's really neat is that when people give to specific programs like that, they know that 100% of their dollar goes to that direct need in the community. We don't charge admin for it. Our Women's Leadership Circle does all the work. It's amazing what they've accomplished.
Yeah, and just the businesses that stepped up. Some businesses that haven't been involved in United Way before. We had a security company that donated 55 packages of diapers. So each lady and the recipients of these baskets each got at least 50 diapers. And so that alone just helps somebody out, whether it's they're starting off and getting on their feet, and maybe it's the first month that we're able to support them.
Yeah, that was TSI Security, so thank you to them. And also thank you to all of our sponsors. You can see the names of the sponsors on our Facebook page and also on our website at msaunitedway.org. We always love to promote the people that support our community and are always willing to give back. And speaking of, we have a representative from the number one supporting business in the Bismarck-Mandan area, which is Basin Electric, Mr. Ted Cash. Thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me.
So, Mr. Cash, talk to us. Talk to us about the philosophy at Basin Electric and giving back, because you're involved in so many different activities, supporting so many different causes, and they're always so robust at Basin.
Well, first of all, I mean, Basin Electric as a cooperative couldn't be more pleased to be a part of United Way in our community. Basically, as a co-op, we have down in our roots, the reason we're in business is to basically serve our member owners, and we really believe that we're there to make the lives in the communities we serve better. And that's for everyone. And there is no greater tie-in to the United Way locally than that, because that's exactly what my feelings with the United Way. Their purpose is to aggregate need and to lift the community from all levels of all concerns. Any issue in the community tends to filter through United Way. So it's just a natural fit for Basin. And we have so many, anything Basin gets involved in, I'm always amazed at the employees at Basin. It is 110%. It's United Way. It's when there's a food drive. It's when we love competition and we love to, kind of duke it out with other companies trying to be number one. I don't know what that's about, why that is such a big part of the employee base at Basin. But there's very few things in this community that go on that doesn't have someone from Basin a part of and bringing to the employees. So it's just, like I said, Basin is just thrilled to death to be a part of the United Way and in support of it.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what's the secret at Basin to to get those employees engaged? What do you guys do to keep getting them engaged, keep getting them to give to charities in our community? Because it seems like you have really low lapse donor rates at Basin.
Well, I think for one thing, you have at Basin Electric, you have the mindset that you are a co-op. You have very long-term employees. We do not have a high turnover rate. I mean, I have now going on 17, 18 years at Basin, and I'm a newbie. It is not unusual to find people with 30 to 35 years. And because of that, they've been in the community. They're not new to the community and learning. They've had kids here. They've had neighbors. They've been part of the community, and they really understand what it is to support it. And that's what's always amazing to me. From, United Way is obviously a very large program to us, but like the Giving Tree or the Sharing Trees, it is amazing when you see those trees go up. It is almost a stampede to those trees to get those ornaments off. These people spend more on children they don't know or just have a name and an age and sizes than they do their own children. And in all honesty, that's probably the way it should be. But it is just, they seem to be very gracious, and also it's almost organic. It's not just one person at Basin saying, well, this is what we're going to do. We have a cross-departmental group that runs United Way. And there are people thinking, how do we raise money? What's the best way to do that? And they actually use metrics inside the building to figure out, well, was this as successful as it could have been, or how much did we have into it? Maybe we can modify it next year to get more money. And Basin, like I said, as an entity, is in complete support of their employees doing this and aren't afraid to put up, well, hey, yeah, we'll put up the money to do that. Let's see. It's really great. And the time and the effort that goes forth isn't only from the employees' side; it's also the Basin Electric as a company allowing employees to take that time. So
we are talking with Ted Cash, the president of the United Way Board of Directors. Ted, I remember when you filled our dining room full of toys because of gifts donated for the holiday season from Basin employees. And then just recently, you had a room full of food that you collected for our United Way backpack program. It's just outstanding that you get behind the true needs in the community. And we're also looking for some volunteer reviewers. So hopefully Basin Electric can be involved at that level as well, because you certainly, as the board president, you're making some very difficult decisions on the recommendations based on some of these reviewers that help decide how the money is used.
Well, and that's, it's natural. I don't know if I'm sure a lot of people listening understand that the United Way kind of aggregates needs. They look at not just one issue in the community, but multiple issues. And those issues are, they're filtered through a level. I think some people think that, someone comes in and asks for money and the board just sits there on their chairs and goes, well, that's a great idea. Let's vote for that. I say, let's pass that. It goes through multiple levels of approval, and they look for actual need and community impact and things like that. So in all honesty, we have a ton of information on agencies seeking funding before it even gets to the board. And we have recommendations from people in the community who don't sit in an executive level or on the board, but are in and willing to give their time to look at these issues and say, hey, this might be the best way to spend the money, or here's where we have some need. So that's one of the things that I think is great about it, because the board does take its responsibility seriously, that we are fiduciarily responsible for the monies our donors give us. And I think those donors get a great deal of comfort knowing that we don't take these decisions or make these decisions lightly. There are multiple levels there of oversight before it ever gets to having an actual donation. So, I'm proud of that, because we don't just take it lightly. We are there and engaged. There isn't a board member that I haven't called outside of a board meeting to discuss an issue with, and especially with the executive committee. They are all engaged and not just there as a figurehead. So,
well, and that's why you are serving as a board member and as our president. You can just hear the passion and in the conviction in your words, Mr. Cash. We want to hear more from you. We also want to learn how other businesses can have an employee campaign, because Basin Electric has the #1 employee campaign for a few years now in the community. So if you you aren't sure what that means, please tune back in just a couple minutes. We'll also be speaking with Mark Wagner from Hertz, a United Way board member and a member of the steering committee for Community Impact. You are listening to United Way's Community Talk. Welcome back to United Way's Community Talk. I am Jenna Gullo, your host and the Executive Director of the Missouri Slope Area-Wide United Way. A special thank you to Town Square Media, Super Talk 1270, and our very own Jim Walsh. Well, we call him that because he does so much for us, volunteering his time. Thank you so much. We appreciate all of the supporters in our community, and American Family Insurance has been having their Golf Classic for many, many years now. Co-hosting with me is Ms. Amber Jensen, the operations manager. Amber, tell us about the American Family Golf Classic.
Yeah, I think if I remember right, this is probably our 16th year for the Golf Classic, and I want to say last year it was already at about $150,000 that they had raised for the United Way agencies through this tournament. And so if you haven't already, mark your calendars for Friday, July 24th. We will have a shotgun start at 1 p.m. If you haven't gotten a hole sponsorship information form, it is $175 to sponsor a hole, and that includes 2 dinners to the awards banquet. And if you want to put together a team, it is $80 per golfer, and that includes your lunch that day, the awards dinner, cart, and golfing. And so for $80 a person, you can get out at Riverwood Golf Course, have a lot of fun with the United Way folks, and we hope you can join us that day. And you get to watch Jenna and I golf, so yeah, that's the best part.
Hysterical. Just hysterical. So we are here for you, our donors in our community. Please get in touch with our office or call Terry Kraft's office with American Family Insurance and sign up, because it is a lot of fun, and it is a fun way for your business to support the community. It's also good for morale. Hate to tell you. Our morale.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But we also have our Day of Caring coming up in August.
Yeah, Day of Caring this year is on Wednesday, August 12th. If you have a project in the community or you have a friend in need, we're looking for about 3 to 4 more projects to allow us to get to our goal of 1,000 volunteers. And so right now we're sitting at enough volunteer spots for about 930 people. And so if you guys have a project in our community and you can help us get to that $1,000 goal, we'd really appreciate it. Call our office, 255-3601. Volunteers can start registering, so go to volunteerbizman.com, and all the projects are on the site. Pretty much a project for anybody. If you are loving painting, you can come to my house and then do Day of Caring. Or if you own a Bobcat, I know there's a few projects that are looking for some pretty large equipment to move rocks and do some of those bigger items. But there's also general office stuff and filing and getting agencies up and running for the upcoming rest of the year.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. More importantly than that, you get to see the needs firsthand by visiting these agencies that we support. A lot of people don't realize we have a domestic violence shelter. We have a homeless shelter in Mandan, and how important your dollars are to keep these programs alive in our community. That's actually how I met one of our guests this morning, Mr. Mark Wagner from Hertz, joining us, and Ted Cash, the president of the United Way Board. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us this morning.
Absolutely.
So, Mark, you were part of our Day of Caring many moons ago, and then prior to that, you were a board member. I didn't realize that. That was before my time.
Yeah, yeah, last before your time, several years actually. It goes back into the late 80s and early 90s when I first started, and then life events, and you move on and come back. And then I had the opportunity, I guess we brought a group out to one of your bowling events out at Midway.
I remember that. That was fun.
It was a good day. Yeah, you guys all taught me how to bowl, which I greatly appreciated. And from that standpoint, we've just got more involved, and then got involved with the Day of Caring, which was just a great program.
Yeah, and then Ted, Basin Electric, is always going out to, I believe, Papa's Pumpkin Patch. You guys have made some significant impact out there, and it's nice because it benefits the entire community.
Well, in all honesty, I mean, I have a lot of staff members who go out to that, and they look forward to it. But we also do it kind of as a lot of the local electric co-ops around the area come out, and we do it with Touchstone Energy also. So it is, I mean, people think about the Day of Caring, and, you know, it is so unique. It isn't specifically for an issue that, you know, might be a safety net issue, but it is how you lift a community. It's the things, how do we make it look better? How do we help people? How do we help the community in general? And I think it's just wonderful that we get that many volunteers and that they are so driven to do something that day. And it's, I mean, people enjoy it. You hear people talk about how much fun they had. And for the group from Basin, it's unique because I believe our annual family picnic is that night. So they normally come in and they already have a nice tan on before we have to go outside for the picnic. So, no, they enjoy it a great deal. And like I said, it's just a wonderful way to help the community as a whole, and not just, sometimes you think of the issues that United Way and the agency, partner agencies deal with as being, you know, kind of somber. I mean, they're issues that are hard to talk about sometimes, but that's what a great community does. It doesn't shy away from that. But it also does things that just maybe help clean up and make the community look better. So it's a great event.
Can you tell us a little bit more? And so we talked in our last segment about how Basin rallies their employees together for an employee campaign. Can you tell all the other listeners what processes you take to get businesses involved in the United Way efforts?
Well, I think, you know, getting businesses involved in United Way is pretty easy. I mean, we go out as board members and we will do, say, after the campaign, we go out and we'll discuss with people who have donated, at the hero level, and we'll go out and we'll deliver just the little plaques, just the little gratitudes to them, and talk to them and say, hey, I really appreciate you doing this, but not always just, you know, hey, thanks a lot, but what do you want to see out of the United Way? What are the issues that we need to start dealing with? Maybe there are some things you don't think we do as well as we should. Let's have that discussion. And that's what's great about the United Way is basically the utter transparency, because you can go on to the website, see the board members, and if you have a question, you can call one of those board members, or you can talk to Jenna, the executive director. But that's one of the things that I think it's so easy for a business, especially if you look at, you know, the growth Bismarck's had over the past certainly decade, if not more 5 years. You have new businesses in town. And in all honesty, I've yet to find someone who doesn't want to support the community. And one of the easiest ways of doing that and supporting issues in the community is getting involved with United Way, because it doesn't even have to be a financial donation. It can be just you as a human resource donation coming out and helping and packing backpacks and things like that. So I think that's one of the greatest things about United Way is it doesn't always have, granted, it's awesome if you're going to donate, and that's, let's be realistic. Money helps solve problems, especially if it's used wisely. And United Way is there for that, is to do the due diligence on these issues and get the monies where they need to be. So that's an easy thing for them to do.
So we are talking with Ted Cash from Basin Electric, also president of the United Way board, and also Mark Wagner from Hertz, and he is a community impact steering committee member and also a board member at United Way. You know, Ted, you were talking about Basin Electric. You're a United Way backpack sponsor. You are a Day of Caring sponsor. Both of you gentlemen are. Mark, you just sponsored our board lunch. You know what? Through Hertz. So thank you for that. But people might not realize how hard United Way works to keep our administrative expenses so low, and how every dollar, every penny really does count.
It really does, and I appreciate the fact that when we do these luncheons and those kinds of things, that it goes back to the community, and it goes back to the people who are involved and keeping involved, and it's a way to keep them doing that, and it does keep the costs low of where we're at and what we're doing. So the dollars are truly going back to the agencies that need it, and it gets back into the community for those that benefit most from it. And that's really what the board is really working towards, is to keep that going. And as Ted said earlier, a large part of that is accountability of those dollars. And we don't have those issues where the administrators are driving Ferraris, unless you got one lately, Oh, you ordered one last week,
I'll
didn't
take
you?
a raise. I don't mind that.
But, it really does. I think we pay fairly, but we're not out of line.
Yeah, well, we want to hear more. We want to hear more about a lot of the tough decisions that the United Way Board has to make, about how we do hold agencies accountable, and what you like most, why you are such a good advocate for our local community through United Way. If you're listening out there, we want to make sure that you're signing up for the American Family Golf Classic. They have it every year for our community through United Way. It's Friday, July 24th. So go online to MSA United Way or call Terry Kraft's office at 701-663-0293. Join us in just a couple minutes. You're listening to United Way's Community Talk. Welcome back to United Way's Community Talk. I'm Jenna Gullo, the Executive Director of the Missouri Slope Area-Wide United Way. Thank you for tuning in this fine, beautiful morning in Bismarck, Mandan. We want to make sure that you save the date for August 12th. It is our Day of Caring. Last year we had 854 volunteers among our community that were volunteering their entire day on different projects, over 50 different projects, and helping your local neighbors, helping the nonprofit community. So if you're a business out there and you're wondering how you can get involved, just give us a call. You can do a half day. We were talking with Vogel Law Firm, and they were thinking they could select a project, and half of their lawyers and staff could volunteer in the morning, and then they could do a high five over lunchtime, and then have the other ones pinch hit for the afternoon. So there's different ways that we can make sure that your business can get involved in giving back. It's so much fun. But if you're not able to take off a whole day, take off an afternoon and join us for the American Family Golf Classic. That is July 24th. It's really important, if you want to get involved, like us on Facebook. We are at Facebook.com/MSAUA, and we are always posting needs in the community. One time we had one of our agencies, say that a newly single mother in town, she did not have a washer and dryer. She had been washing all of her kids' clothes by hand, and just all the struggles. She didn't have money to take it to the laundromat, and by golly, within half of a day, someone responded and donated their washer and dryer. So it's about filling those very, basic needs, but it's also about looking towards the long term. Co-hosting with me today is Ms. Amber Jensen, the operations director. Amber, thanks for being with us, and then thanks for everything you do to really make everything tick at our United Way office.
Absolutely. It's been an interesting ride, learning all the new operations and learning more about what United Way and it takes to run an organization at our level. So thank you for giving me the opportunity. I really appreciate it.
Well, for those that you don't know, Amber was promoted. She's been with us a couple years, and you started off as the event and volunteer coordinator, and how you see firsthand how important the volunteers are at every single level.
Yeah, this last couple of years, I've been able to work with the Women's Leadership Circle, and I know we've mentioned that on a few radio shows in the past, but just the power of getting volunteers together, and especially in that case, female volunteers together who give $500 or more to United Way, and seeing what they can accomplish. In the short year that I've been working with them, we just had a community baby shower last week. We had a Little Black Dress campaign and raised $58,000 in 1 week. So it's really amazing what happens when you get a group of volunteers together for one effort.
Yeah, so if people are looking out there for ways to get involved, go on to our website at volunteerbizman.com, and then you can answer phones at our office. You can help with some mailings. We only do about 4 or 5 a year, but we need your help. You can help us on a higher level. I just reached out to one of our board members, Bonnie Dalit-Starian, for some HR advice. We have a very small staff. There's 5 of us right now at United Way, and so We need people at all different levels to make sure that your dollars are going where they're needed the most. And that's why we're talking today with Mark Wagner. Mark is from Hertz. He is a member of our board of directors. You are also a member of our Community Impact Steering Committee. And we also have Mr. Ted Cash from Basin Electric, a board member and the president of the United Way Board. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you
for making me crack up. Well, what were you doing over there while I was rambling on and on?
A ditch over here. So, and Jenna's going to drag us out in a second. Yeah.
So talk to me. What do you want to talk about United Way?
Ted and I were actually talking. There's this little black dress campaign for the ladies that we should come up with something for the guys, and we should have something that just for guys, like maybe a muscle shirt campaign or something. I don't
dear
know.
Lord.
You wouldn't want to see me in one.
You mean, people would pay you to take, to cover up or something?
Yeah, probably. Exactly.
There's a great deal of motivation there. I'll guarantee you that. That would probably be worth $500. So that's anything to help out.
You never know.
Well, thank God you aren't on our event committee. So, Mark, talk to us about the Community Impact Steering Committee. What's it all about?
Well, the Impact Committee is really the group that does the initial reviews of the applications that come in and get some more detail. And they make recommendations based on what they see, and we do some visiting working with Chris and doing some visiting with the agencies to find out what it is they're into and what they want to do. And so we break that down, and we challenge each other on that committee sometimes as we walk through these discussions and, is this a good idea? Is it not a good idea? Is it really getting out to what it's needed? As we talked about earlier, is there accountability into the dollars that we're giving them? Is the programming something that really meets the whole needs of the community? Or is it very structured to just a small grouping? And as you know, we're trying to get that spread out, and we're trying to get the collaboration in place, and our groups working with other groups and those kinds of things. So as we work our way through that, there's some pretty intense conversations and discussions from time to time.
Well, and I think the transition that I've seen in our Community Impact Steering Committee is you're not as willing to give to people with good intentions and good hearts. You're looking for results.
It is, and we want those people that have good intention and good hearts. But part of that is to get the results, and is it a benefit to the community? Is it really helping? And as you were alluding to earlier, one of the things is to help that grow and to really become something. Because a lot of times the intentions and good hearts, that's where it ends. It really doesn't get out there and help like it should and what we need it to. So what can we do to help you so that you really are impacting the community and getting to the people that need your services and those kinds of things. Everything from financial to administration to marketing to all those kinds of things.
One thing that I've noticed in the last couple of years is really focusing on what programs are available and what gaps do we have in the community and what programs are we looking at to fill those gaps. And I think the Community Impact Committee and the Board of Directors have done a really nice job of identifying what those gaps are. So what do you think we're seeing right now as far as gaps, or what are we doing right now to fill those gaps in our community?
Well, I think that there's a variety of things. I think we just had the discussion a while back at our last board meeting. As a matter of fact, one of the major concerns that was brought up is the lack of a soup kitchen now with the closing of one group and those kinds of things that have happened. And there's some things that have been put into place, targeted for children in our community, which is great. And we want to do that. But now, to my knowledge, we don't have anything that's specifically targeted to the adults that may need a meal a day. And so that was one of the things that we talked about at the last board meeting.
And that's, and that's really what all the levels of United Way are doing from a board's perspective, looking more as a strategy moving forward. We have to address these. We can't be playing catch up when these things happen. We have to look to the future and say, okay, wait a second. We don't have a daily food service for people who that is a basic human need in this community. We have to start thinking about how we look at our agencies, how we look at other organizations. How do we build that? as a service to our community. And that's what the board and the community impact groups, everyone involved in United Way, we look at issues like that. And hopefully it kind of rolled up on us quick, but we will address it. And we keep looking out at that horizon on what's the next issue coming at us as a community.
Well, and what I really appreciate, too, is how you do look at that data. You do look at our needs assessments, and we do listen to our partner agencies. You know, one thing we've all noticed is an increase in the visibility of the homeless in our community. But yet, when we actually look at number of beds in our community versus the need, we were just told by the Homeless Coalition that, you know, we actually do have enough beds. If people wanted, you know, to stay in a homeless shelter or in a transitional program, we actually have a sufficient supply. So now you want to target, you know, how do we prevent people from being homeless and target those issues before they become bigger issues?
Yeah. And I think that's one of the things that we really try to work with the Impact Committee is that collaboration piece, because Agency A might be able to provide these services, but you need more than just those services. There might be all of these other types of things that are going on in your life. So Agency B, C, and D can provide those services, and so we want to make sure that those referrals and cross-referrals are done, and that collaboration becomes a part of it, so that we holistically take care of that individual versus, or that family or whatever it may be, versus just getting one service and then being denied what else they might need.
Yes, because there's no better way of addressing the issues than getting in front of them before they're problems.
Exactly.
And that's what we're trying to do here, is to address them before they become serious enough to bubble up to be considered a problem in the community.
Well, our community wants to thank the two of you for your commitment, because it's not just about showing up at those monthly board meetings. You guys do so much more, and you're the best advocates for our community and for filling those needs. Thank you to El Presidente, Mr. Ted Cash, and Mark Wagner. Please stay with us. We will be back in just a couple minutes to learn more about how you can become more involved in your United Way. Welcome back to United Way's Community Talk. I am Jenna Gullo, the Executive Director of the Missouri Slope Area-Wide United Way, and co-hosting with me today, Ms. Amber Jensen, the Operations Manager at United Way.
Good morning, everyone.
So, Amber, just quick thank you, to our board members, our volunteers, our community that is ever so generous with us each year, but also to Town Square Media. They provide us this airtime every other week, and they donate it back to our community, so we appreciate everyone right here.
Yeah, absolutely. And Town Square also gives us so much during our campaign year. So if you're looking at sponsoring and getting some radio coverage, please contact our office. We have a premier sponsorship for $5,000, and that will give you a month of radio right here on Town Square Media. You get to pick the stations, and it's really just a great opportunity to co-brand with United Way, let people know that you're involved in the community, and also get some media coverage. So it's a really great win-win for everybody. And so we'd appreciate if businesses are interested in getting involved in United Way, call our office and become a sponsor.
Yeah, and if you're new to the area and you are looking to get better connected, there's no better place to do that than through the United Way. We have a campaign cabinet. They're the ones that knock on the doors of the business community and individuals and advocate for the needs, the true needs, not just the perception of the needs, but the true needs in our community. And it's just a fun bunch. So we are looking for cabinet members. We also have our Day of Caring coming up.
Yeah, August 12th, we're looking to reach our goal of 1,000 volunteers. So mark your calendar. Again, August 12th of this year, we'll kick off at 7:30 a.m. at Shiloh Christian School. So thank you to Shiloh for opening your doors this year and allowing all of our volunteers to come in there and have fun and kick off our campaign this year.
We are looking to recruit 1,000 volunteers for our Day of Caring, August 12th. So hopefully you can reserve that date for us. And, also if you have a project in your community, a neighbor in need, if they're elderly, if they're special needs, if they're just needing a little boost, a little pick-me-up, let us know. We'll try to add that on as a project if it's feasible for our community to address. And we really want to thank our longtime supporters of Day of Caring, people like Doosan, Bobcat, Tesoro Refinery, winery, you know, the folks that do a lot of the heavy lifting, bring in their equipment. We do some major renovations for our nonprofit agencies on that one day of caring. It is just awesome.
Yeah, last year we saved the community $217,000 from our 850 some volunteers, and so what an impact that can make in just one day. And, you know, we were just at an HR training a couple weeks ago for our agencies, and we learned the importance of engagement. And so if you're looking to get your employees engaged in your company, what a great way to get them out and boost morale and get them involved in our community so that they can see what the agencies are doing in our community and what those issues are.
Yeah, absolutely. Or do an employee campaign. You will be shocked at the generosity of your employees, of your team, and how it really brings you all together. Call us at United Way. The number is online on our website at msaunitedway.org. Like us on Facebook. We're always posting emerging needs there and also volunteer opportunities. It's Facebook.com/MSAU Way. But we have a very easy site for you to log on to. Go to volunteerbizman.com. That's BISMAN for Bismarck Mandan. Go to volunteerbizman.com and you'll see all of our Day of Caring projects listed on there. You'll also see one-time needs for volunteers, but we also have our WLC initiative, Adopt a Classroom, where businesses or individuals can get involved.
Yeah, absolutely. Last year, the Women's Leadership Circle adopted Saxfig Elementary, and so they volunteered for 2 hours every second and fourth Tuesday of the month from 11 to 1. They got to read with the kids, go out to recess, eat lunch, and just really a great time to mentor those children that might otherwise not have that positive role model in their life. So a really great initiative if you're looking to take an hour from lunch to go mentor a child, call our office.
Yeah, or if you want to be a guest on our United Ways Community Talk, or if you have an issue important to you, gosh, we're open. We are all ears. We are all about what our community wants and what our donors are wanting. So give us a call. We love to highlight our business sponsors and longtime volunteers. So let us know. Speaking of needing volunteers, we have a very, very important process coming up. And Chris Block is our Community Impact Coordinator. He's here to share with us what opportunities are available.
Yeah, good morning, Jenna and Amber and everybody else out there. We have something very special coming up here this summer. Every year we go through a process where, as Ted and Mark mentioned before, we accept applications for United Way funding. All the money that we raise throughout the year and that we put towards fighting issues in our community, we have a process where we go through and decide how to spend it in the community, on what programs to invest in.
And so how do people get involved? Like, what is their role as a volunteer or a donor?
We are looking for people to set aside time this summer to go through applications and read through the grant applications and score them and see how they align with our goals in the community. See if agencies are meeting certain criteria that we're looking to achieve out of our organizations that we work with. Just things like that. If you're able to dedicate anywhere, it can be as little as 5 to 10 hours this summer reviewing applications. We would definitely appreciate your help and your insight.
So do they have to come to the United Way office to review these applications, or how does that process work?
It's a good question. No, actually, it's all online based. So we do a session at the very beginning where we get together and go over a few training items, just demonstrating how to do it, what to look for. But then from there on out, you can do it all in the comfort of your own home.
So how would people feel comfortable making those types of recommendations? Do they need a specific background to be able to do that?
Really what we're looking for are people that are engaged in the community, people that are interested in learning more about the issues in our community. If you are someone who is able to just read through this application and thoughtfully assess it and just give some feedback on what you take away from it, then that's really the skill set that we're looking for. It can be anyone from someone with a finance background, auditing, to really anything.
And one really important thing that I think that is looked at when you're reviewing the applications, or when the reviewers are looking at the applications, is the outcomes. Maybe, Jenna, you can talk to us a little bit more on some of those outcomes that we share with those volunteers to make sure that they're looking for the needs and making sure they're being addressed.
Well, it's really important that we're not just giving out money to good hearts. We have a lot of people with good intentions, but if they're not impacting the area that they're working on, then we don't want to just throw money at an issue. We want to make sure that we're really targeting the results that we're looking for. And so this past year, we've actually been helping nonprofit agencies in our community in learning how to better demonstrate their results or how to rethink and reimagine the work that they're doing. Because it's not just about serving, 100 clients. It's about what happened with those 100 clients because of your services, and how are we preventing, whether it be that cycle of poverty from continuing, how are we keeping seniors in their home and independent as long as they possibly can and want to. What are those end results that our community is looking for? Because otherwise you're just going to keep needing to raise more and more and more money, and you're not really making a dent in the issue.
Yeah, absolutely. And so if you feel like you can, maybe make an impact in one of our agencies, or you have that data to support applying, Chris, where do people apply? So outside of those that are reviewing the applications, where can they still apply for United Way funding?
Absolutely. You can go on our website, and we have a link right there in order to submit your application for United Way funding. You can also give me a call at United Way or shoot me an email at impact@msaunitedway.org. Be happy to walk through that process with you so you can submit your application.
And what we're looking for, too, is that problem-solving initiative. It's usually not just one agency on our own, and this includes United Way. We rely heavily on the partnerships that we make, not just with funded partners, but also with businesses, with the school system. And that's how we bring everyone around the table to address the issues that are most important to our United Way donors in our community. So get involved if you want to apply to be a community impact reviewer. Go to msaunitedway.org/CI-volunteer. And so that stands for Community Impact Volunteer. Or just like us on Facebook, it's Facebook.com/MSAUA. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for all of our volunteers and supporters out there. And thanks for keeping our community great.